I can't get enough of that.
Me neither. I love it.
I like that it ends like I'm in the jungle. It's almost like I'm a leader of some African tribe with all the. It's great. It really makes me. It makes me so much more important than I am. Millie, I want you to know
what?
You're my friend, and thank you for being my friend. And I got you something because today's theme is friendship, as you know. And so I got you a present, and it's in this box here.
Oh, I love the box.
Yeah, I thought you'd like the box. I like the box too.
I love it.
Not that. This is really nice. I'm actually giving this to another.
Is this for me?
Friend. Oh, this, yeah. This is so you. This is a lot of fun. It's a noisemaker. You get your lips all wet, and you go, and you got your tongue in it.
Ooh, I like it.
Then you get it all wet, and then here.
Yeah.
You want it?
No, you keep it.
It's a friendship thing.
You did nice.
All right.
Can I keep the box?
Oh, no.
I like
you
the
definitely
box.
can't keep the box. The box is particularly nice.
All right, well, listen, I have something for you, too, and you can't keep the box for this neither.
Oh, you got me a present?
I did.
Okay, let's see what that... this is really tiny. What a token.
There's a bow on it.
There's a bow on it. Should I... Oh, okay, I see. Oh, it's a little Star Wars guy. It's a little, like, Boba Fett guy.
Aw.
Oh, my God. Look at that. Aw. You really are my friend.
Yes,
oh, wow.
I am. I have a little gun that goes with it. I'll give it to you.
That's really nice.
It didn't fit in the box.
I like that.
Aw.
We're going to keep that out here.
Okay, good. That's good, Dan.
As a reminder of what a good friend you are.
Thank you.
I mean, I'm a better friend.
Well, kind of. You're a friend who doesn't give good gifts.
We have a lot of information to give our audience tonight. Thanks for tuning in to Welcome Back to America.
Hey.
I am DB Frick. This, of course, is Millie Michaels, my friend, till the end. What's going on in the world? What do we got going on?
Well, news in the art world. In the Netherlands, there were thieves that stole a $18 million 17th century painting. This is the third time that it's been swiped. The same picture from the same gallery.
That sounds scammy. That's really scammy, the same picture. Over how many years, though? Was it like stolen hundreds of years ago?
No, it was like from 2004, 2008, and then this year.
Yeah, that's a little scammy. That's like, and it's an insurance scam, like probably.
Do you think maybe they're playing capture the flag? It's a friend thing.
Something like that. Maybe it's rich guys just like playing a game with each other.
Yeah.
Honestly.
A lot of fun.
Art is a rich person's game.
Yeah, $18 million worth of a lot of fun.
$18 million for a piece of artwork. That's crazy. Mm-hmm. That's crazy. Anyway, what else do we got?
And it was made back in 1626. Anyway, in showbiz news, this is about Sherry Shepherd, how Barbara Walters made her cry for 3 years in the dressing room.
Right.
Because they co-starred in The View.
That's her thing, though. That was Barbara Walters' thing, to make people cry during interviews. That's what she liked to do.
She likes to critique, and the post has said that Barbara Walters said, "I love you, but I just need you to read a book, dear, because you need to defend something you believe in."
I don't believe those W's were in there. But yeah, no, Barbara Walters, still a powerful person. She did create The View. She hasn't been on it in a while.
No.
I don't know if she does that anymore. But
No.
Yeah, she's all right. But, all these people who are in power are mean. That's what we've learned. Ellen, Barbara Walters, they should start a sitcom together.
And parents, we know that, of course. Parents are mean.
Anybody who's a parent. Stupid.
Or just moms. Anyway, as if by cue, in Massachusetts, a bolt of lightning actually landed next to a couple that was getting married outdoors. The groom had sarcastically said how this 2020 was the worst year, and then boom, there it is. He was told to like maybe stay as friends, or
God was like, I'll show you.
You think it's bad?
Zeus.
Here's something for you.
Out of nowhere.
Shrimp all over the place.
I say Zeus because I believe in gods. I believe in many gods, like, like Hercules and all that stuff.
I like them when they're on cartoons.
Anything else?
Yeah, there was a doctor who was riding in his Tesla on autopilot, and he crashed. He's watching a movie, and he crashed into two police vehicles. They ended up giving him a citation for driving while watching a movie.
Right, yeah. I think they started putting out trucks recently. Trucks that are, without telling, like they're just putting them out there, trucks that are automatic. They don't need people to drive them. They're just driverless trucks that are, taking jobs away from lots of people. But now, if this is going to happen, how do you blame, how is it his fault if he's like, all right, my car is driving? How is it his fault?
Yeah. Or it was a good part of the movie.
You should be able to sue that. It's a good part of the movie, or you should be able to sue that company that
made the movie?
Yeah, that made the movie.
Okay, well that could be. I think that they need to have people driving
Anyway, let's
the cars.
move on.
A doctor, he can get a chauffeur. Stop it already.
Yeah.
In Mexico, there were 35 young women who were caught red-handed as they were trying to take a test on an entrance exam for a trade school, and what happened was they painted the answers on their nails.
That's genius.
It is genius. And if that trade school was for nail technicians, I would say let them in, because I'll take some words on my nails.
I painted answers onto my contacts. That's how I got through college.
Wow.
That's how I got my master's, got my doctorate that way.
I think you were dreaming.
Yeah, I don't have a doctorate. I am a doctor of comedy, though.
He is.
So do we have anything else? That's our news for today?
No,
right?
I just wanted to say that I'm so glad that you're my friend. And
oh, that's nice.
Yeah, sometimes you're sad and you have anxiety, and I just want to say to you, DB, keep smiling, keep shining. You know that you can always count on me. For sure, that's what friends are for. Through good times and bad times, I'll be on your side forevermore.
That's what friends are for.
So, keep
All
smiling.
Right. We got a lot of show coming your way on Welcome Back to America tonight. We got Chris Griggs. He's a comedian, stand-up comedian. He's a teacher. He's an improviser. He's an actor. I think he's on Cobra Kai. I think he was just shooting on Cobra Kai. We also have Joe Dixon and Todd Montesi, comedians I've known for over 20 years, some of the funniest guys, some of my best friends. We also have Debra Markowitz, Henry Stampfel, and Anne Stampfel, who run the Long Island International Film Expo. And we have a great interview with them. Would love to have you all stay through all of that. Thanks, Millie, for your love.
Oh,
and we'll be right back after this. Thanks.
Can you go to CVS for me later?
Sure. Do I get to keep this?
No, I want the box.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
I get that.
You can keep that, just don't tell my son.
So that's great. I appreciate that you put that together. One of the other things, we have a guest that I'm trying to book. He's a politician, local politician running for office, but he also does stand-up comedy.
Wow.
So, yeah, I think it would be interesting to have that guy on. And maybe...
Oh.
Is that your place?
Can you hold on 1 second? I just have to get the door. All right, I'm not
No,
doing
of course.
this.
Yeah, no, it's fine, of course. Take your time. Don't feel rushed.
Oh, hi. Yeah. Hi. Hi. Mr. DB.
Um,
Hi.
hey, are you Millie's dog?
Yes. My name's Carly. Hi, Mr. DB. It's
Hey, hi,
nice,
Carly.
nice to see you.
It's nice to see you too. A little strange. That's a nice hat you got there.
No. Yes. Well, thank you. I'm not a fan of it. I don't like dressing up.
Oh, you're forced to wear the hat. You didn't. Oh, okay. I'm
Yes, I
sorry.
do not like it.
Are
Yes.
you forced to do a lot of stuff you don't want to do?
Well, I am, but I'm really here to talk to you about. I need help.
Okay, I'm here.
I know, but I have to make this quick because my mommy's not here. But I am a grain-free dog, and I don't want to do it anymore.
Oh,
I'm
you can't have
sick
grains.
of not eating grains. You hear me? I don't like it.
That's
I'm
awful.
sick of eating my toys.
Oh, well, it's a good way to get fiber, right?
Yes, it is. It's a good way to get fiber, but I want some potatoes, you know? I
Oh,
want
okay.
some French fries when they fall on the floor. I mean, really? This is what I gotta eat? Ah.
Okay, well, what can I do to help? I mean, I don't want to go over your mom's head.
What? Listen, I got money. I got money, and I'll give you money if you could buy me some grains.
Wait. First of all, I'm not taking your money. Secondly, how does a dog make money? You must have taken that from...
No. I get allowance. I get an
Get an
allowance,
allowance?
Mr. DB. Take my money. Get me grains. I'm sure you can find grains on any street corner.
I'll bring you grains, but I don't need the money. How many? I can just have it Amazon to you,
No, Amazon. My mommy will know about the Amazon. No, just go down to the street corner, get me grains, and just bring it to my house. Just put it on the side of the house. I have a whole bunch of poop bags on the side that my mommy leaves, which is disgusting. But anyway,
Yeah, you're gonna leave. You want me to leave the grain in the poop box? Okay. Are you allergic to grain?
no,
That's what's happening here, Carmen.
no, it's
Carly,
Carly.
Carmen, Carly.
Yeah, well, it's Carmen Miranda hat. But
Right. No, I guess you confused me. The hat, Carmen.
yeah. What was the question? Oh, I think I hear my mommy. No, not yet. Okay. What?
Say
What'd
that-
you say? What? What?
What kind of? Are you okay?
I'm okay. I'm nervous because my mommy's around. Go ahead.
Oh, okay.
Talk to me.
I understand. I'm kind of, since I have a dog to talk to for a minute, I'd love to, bend your ear. What kind of TV shows do you like?
Oh, I like anything my daddy watches. Anything. He likes to watch TV with people who don't have many teeth, they all live in the woods, like the bush people. Everybody's
Okay.
in Alaska.
Right.
And, you would think they would get me like an Alaska hat. I would like that.
You like shows that show you the frontier, where you can just like run around like a dog should.
Yes, I love landscape.
I just realized something. You're a talking dog, and that's weird. Where did you learn to talk?
What do you mean? I'm from Maine. And
Wait,
we
like
talk
that
English.
explains it? Do Maine dogs talk? I've never been to Maine, so.
Oh, it's lovely. I love Maine. Well, I don't get to go there now because they took me away from my area. But yeah, no. Everybody talks English in Maine.
All right, Carly. I'll bring you the grain. I'm gonna drop it off today. I won't let your mom know. I think I'm doing something wrong by doing this. Maybe you have an allergy or something. But
No allergy. I'm good. Yeah. Oh, I'm fine. Thank you.
Oh, looks.
Sorry, Dan.
No, it's fine. It's you had company. I understand. That was
Yeah,
enlightening.
Jehovah. But
Yeah, so we'll get that together next week. We'll have them come in the week after. It should be an interesting interview. But if you see me around your neighborhood, like in the next 12 hours or so, I'm there because of a friend that lives nearby. So it has nothing.
Who is it? Maybe I know them.
Oh, it's the Jurgensenmans. The Jurgensenmans. They live down the block. They're.
Is that Betty and Joe?
Oh yeah, Betty and Joe. Yeah, you know the Jurgensenmans.
Yes, I do.
Everybody does.
Yes.
So I'll be somewhere around there, and we'll work on the show. It's awesome. I really appreciate that you being part of it, and
That's really great. Yeah, it's one thing funny about them is that they have a really chunky dog, and
a chunky dog.
Yeah, like I don't think they take care of that dog properly.
Sounds like you have a problem with fat dogs.
No, not fat dogs. Just unhealthy.
Okay. Well, yeah, it was. I hear you have a dog. Is it true that you have a dog?
Yes, I have a little puppy, a little golden doodle. She's a mini. She's like 20 pounds.
I know it's a weird question, but does your dog speak English? Can your dog talk?
Dan!
Yeah, that's funny.
Of course, she's from Maine.
Oh.
Hi, welcome back to America. This is DB Frick. I have with me today a consummate improviser, one of the most well-liked and well-known improv comedians in New York City and possibly the country. He's done a lot of television. He's a teacher. He's done sketches. He's very popular at the Pit. He has classes over there. He's doing some classes online right now. I know he's looking for some more students all the time. Chris Griggs, thanks for coming on the show.
Yes.
Really
Also, stand-up comic. Remember that too. I also do that.
Stand-up comic. Well, I feel like right now, like there's an embarrassment to doing that because stand-up comedians are unemployed.
I get it. Totally.
Like I'm not a stand-up comedian. I'm actually a nurse. I'm an RN, something like that.
I totally get it. I always sometimes, man, especially if I'm doing something because you do stand-up as well. If I'm doing something with a stand-up and they really start, they introduce me as an improviser, I'm all like, are you doing this? Is this a between the lines kind of thing that you're doing? Because because we were even talking before about like stand-up comedians and improvisers and their little turf wars through the years that I don't care to get involved in, but they definitely
there's a lot of that. I want to actually get into that. I do want to get into that. I want to get into the whole comedy and stand-up versus improv thing. But first, I wanted to find out what got you on stage. What was the first thing? When was the first time you got on stage? What pushed you to perform or want to be a performer?
My journey is a little different, I think, than if I were going back in time and talking to my young self. I was afraid to really dive into it. I didn't have that courage. And I was from a small farm outside of Memphis, Tennessee, growing up. And I was just a lot of fear-based stuff. I went to a Southern Baptist college and I don't know, I just didn't have the courage really. So I gravitated, but I was very creative. I was always the funniest person and or voted the funniest person, and people always seemed to like me when I was funny. I wound up at an ad agency being a writer in Memphis. I worked for an ad agency writing commercials, which is a great reflection of a reflection of art. So if you're fear-based like I was and you just wanted to make money, that was a good way to go.
I've done a couple of commercials over the years, just like corporate stuff. I always thought it was really interesting and I would love to pitch commercials. I think there's so much power. That's real power, being able to pitch advertising and put that out there.
It's a good gig. I got nothing but love for advertising. You get to hang around cool people, but it's really not art. And I guess that's where I was really going for. None of it. And I always laugh when advertising people, myself included, I'm sure I was guilty of it when I was younger, acting like you're creating art, especially when there's probably anywhere from 20 to 50 people that actually get their little fingers all in your soup and make it not so good. But I did that for a long time. I was in advertising. I worked on Wendy's national stuff for a while. I worked on, and then I made a switch at some point to where I was more the suit guy to make more money. So I was a liaison between creative people and business people. But I was always nagged at me that I wanted to go to New York, and I knew that I was being afraid. So I was living in Columbus, Ohio, working on Wendy's, and I got an opportunity to work on the U.S. military's advertising, which is super weird because I've never been in the military. But
I can see you fitting that look, though.
I fit the look.
You could be a drill sergeant. I mean, you actually you fit a lot of looks. You could be like the bad guy in a Bond film. I mean, you fit a range. But that is one thing that I thought was, you could be in the military, Jason Statham type. I mean, you probably don't see that, but
no, one time I was doing stand-up on this Bravo show one time, and the host of the show said that I was like a poor man's Jason Statham. And I was like, you know what? That's a funny crack. Even though I was getting heckled, I thought that was a funny crack. But the thing about New York is when you get there, you have to confront what your passion is, because you know that people are doing it at a high level. So if you dig botany and you lived in Youngstown, Ohio, that's nice, but who cares? So, but if I'm here, I know there's some super freaks doing botany at some crazy level. And it was like that with me for comedy. So when I got here, even though I was working on the military, like a lot of people, 9/11 happened. And that, I mean that like a lot of people, like that transformed the way they thought. I think 9/11 changed a lot of people's brain chemistry. Definitely. And it definitely changed mine. I was in a meeting getting ready to go to the Pentagon for the next day, and the buildings came down, and then it just hit me like, what are you doing? Like, you're in New York City and you have a skill set and you love comedy. And I'd been taking improv. There was a Second City program in New York. So I'd already been studying improv for maybe like a year and a half in New York, and I loved it. And I knew that I was going to get out. So I went ahead and kept working with the military because I kind of felt like it was my patriotic duty, to be honest, at the time. So I still did it for a while. And then my agency got sold, and that was it. I started consulting and freelancing. So I would pick up consulting gigs at these little marketing boutiques to make some money, because money in comedy is horrible. And I went through the Upright Citizens Brigade.
Me too, as did I.
Yeah, and then I went from a guy who was making six figures and working with the Pentagon with security clearance to barking in Times Square while sweaty old people talked garbage to me about, you don't want it or whatever. I need more, bark more, and these people are making me feel like garbage. And I was happy. And that's when I knew that I was really doing something that I wanted to do, because nothing about that situation screamed happiness. And I had never been happier in my life, man. I was doing improv. I was doing stand-up at a cabaret room where I was barking in people. And I thought, man, my God, I am in New York City, man. And this is what's up. I loved it. And I still love it.
What was it the thing that really got you into teaching? When did you start teaching?
I never had a desire to teach. And there's kind of two versions of that story. The first one is improv, because I've taught improv for probably about maybe 15 years. And I've taught intro stand-up for probably about 3.5 years. So I never wanted to teach. And there was a guy named Nate Starkey who was teaching at the People's Improv Theater, or the Pit, which is in New York. And he used to do a drop-in class, which basically just whoever shows up, you know. I think it was like 10 or 15 bucks back then. And it was in the lobby of the original Pit Theater. And he would get like 3, 4, 5 people. He would get a few people. I mean, it wasn't like a big deal thing, but he was done with it. And Nate and I were kind of chums, and we were doing improv together. And he said, hey, I want you to take over this class. And I said, man, I don't want to teach, you know. And he said, look, it's like once a week. You'll pick up a few bucks, and who cares? Like, what's the big deal? So I kind of need, you know, like everybody, I needed money. You know, you always want money. So I just thought, whatever, I'll do it. And also at that time, there was a guy named Randy Perlstein who wrote for the Chappelle Show, who also was co-writer on Cabin Fever, that I was somewhat fascinated with his brain. And he would teach a movie class before the drop-in. So I figured I'll just go in, lay on the couch, and listen to him talk about movies, which I loved. And then I would teach that class, and I fell in love with it. And I found that for whatever reason, I feel like whatever a weird approach that I took, people seemed to gravitate to. And it went from, I don't know, I was probably getting 20 people. I mean, I was getting a lot of people trying to cram into that living room, maybe after even like 4 to 6 months. And then it was so successful that started all the drop-in class models that's at the Pit today. Like that became, now there's lots of drop-in classes at the Pit.
You're a
and I
legacy.
thought, and then, but for me it was, improv is a healthy art form. And then what really got me into it was it became a practical karmic way for me to help people. Though at least the way that I was approaching it, because for me, it was all about self-actualization of yourself, learning how to say yes to people from all walks of life, representing your own IQ to the top of your intelligence, and really learning how to listen to people. And that's got to make you a better person, you know?
Oh, of course. I mean, it does. And sort of you could actually argue that stand-up does the opposite.
It doesn't. That's why I didn't want to teach stand-up. Yeah, absolutely.
And that's one of the things I wanted to talk to you about. We're both people who have done both improv and stand-up, and there's always been a fight. There's like a war between comedians who hate improvisers and improvisers who hate comedians. And I've actually met, and my argument is always like, it's all about the audience. It's what if the audience is enjoying themselves. It doesn't matter what we think about the art. It actually doesn't. If the audience is having a good time. And but I've seen that. I've been in those fights. I've seen that happen. Where do you think that comes from? What do you think why do you think that happens? Why is there so much tension between groups that essentially do the same thing?
Yeah, I mean, like I don't think improvisers have the same tension with stand-up that some stand-ups have with improv. But I do think that, look, I will see 1,000 improvisers try to do stand-up each year, and none of them are going to be professional stand-ups. And I watch a lot of stand-ups try to become improvisers, and over time, none of them are going to become, master level improvisers. And the reason I think stand-ups don't like improv so much because they don't think it's funny. They just don't like it. It's not interesting to them. They don't like it. And I even understand that perspective on some level, because part of it is you have to buy into the idea that this is not going to be as good as if it were written, that we're actually making up stuff on the spot, especially long form. And I think that improvisers ultimately don't like stand-up just because they don't want to get punched in the face all the time. So they both have pros and cons. I mean, improvisers, they, to some degree, for better or for worse, they get to celebrate mediocrity, especially when they're starting out. It's like, yeah, and you played a cat, and the show is horrible. But they all have this group of people that all support their mediocrity, and stand-ups can never get their head around that. They could never, because stand-ups, they lie to you and then they tell you how horrible you are behind your back. But like, there's not like a bunch of stand-ups are going to sit there and embrace, and because everybody's not that good when they start out. I mean, stand-ups, there's a delusion with stand-ups where sometimes it never goes away, where like you and I, we would know who's actually good at stand-up in New York, and they're not. But that's not the reality of the way people think, So I think stand-ups don't like that, like the cult-like lovingness of improv. And I actually am teaching a class right now, and I have a couple of veterans in it, in the community. And like, it's interesting to watch them come in now and see it as a life art form. Just
Okay.
see it. And also as a, you know, and I say this to stand-ups, like, look, you don't have time to do plays and theater, and stand-ups historically are horrible actors. So why don't you use improv to become a better actor? Because you could just show up and become a better actor. Because even people that aren't bad actors now, like you could take Chris Rock. Chris Rock's a good actor now, but look at his journey, you know? I mean, look at when he first started, when he's on Boomerang and he's the male guy.
Sure.
So a lot of stand-ups acting is just them doing their stage persona, which is not vulnerable. Stand-ups don't like being vulnerable with improv. They don't like not doing the joke. They don't like having to count on others. Sometimes I'll say, like, an improviser might walk on stage with a stand-up and say, hey, Grandpa, happy birthday, and I made you this cake. And the stand-up's gonna go, it's not my birthday, and I just got raped by a bear.
Right.
And so, and it gets a laugh, but it wrecks the scene.
Yeah, it does.
And then
yeah,
and I'll tell you sadistically, because I definitely have a left brain, right brain with stand-ups. I have definitely been known to take improvisers that have done enough of these little safe alt shows over a couple of years, and they think they're good stand-ups, and I used air quotes, and I will say, oh, that's cool. Hey, I'm going to be doing a show in Jersey. Why don't you come open for me just to watch them bomb, just to make them appreciate that, no, you're not a stand-up.
It was really nice to have you today, Chris.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
You're a great conversation. I look forward to talking to you more in the future. Do you have anything you'd like to plug, or you have classes that you're giving? You know, you might have some shows coming up.
Yeah, if you want to see, I founded a group, was one of the founding members of a group called the Baldwins about, 12 years ago, and we're the weekend residency team at the Pit. We do every Saturday Facebook Live on the Pit's Facebook Live page. Come check that out. And also, if you want to find out more about me, go to chrisgriggscomedy.com, Griggs, chrisgriggscomedy.com. All my social media is there. You can find how to contact me via email. If you want to, I'm teaching a bunch of classes, intro stand-up, only intro, and also all kinds of improv classes. You can go to thepit-nyc.com and check out classes that I'm doing, or you can just email me off my website and I can send you links to classes that I'm doing. That was a quick plug.
Great. Yeah, no, that's great. That's what this is for. Chris Griggs, thanks for coming on today. We'll be back with Welcome Back to America very shortly after these messages.
Writing a book is the adventure of a lifetime. Red Penguin Books take pride in giving our authors a publishing experience that is stress-free and celebratory all the way. Some of our authors first approach us with no more than an idea for a book that's ready to sprout. Others submit completed manuscripts. Whether you're at either end or anywhere in between, our goal is to get you published. At Red Penguin Books, we offer options and opportunities that are unique in the world of publishing, and all of them are designed to keep you, the author we so deeply respect, in the driver's seat, unlike other publishing houses. So, if you want to write a book and are looking for a publisher, we've got you covered. Red Penguin Books deal in publishing services, book development, and ghostwriting for digital, print, and audiobook. Call us at 516-448-4993 or visit our website, www.redpenguinbooks.com.
Hi, welcome back to America. This is DB Frick. Tonight, we've got some great stuff coming at you from the producers of the Long Island Film Festival. This is one of the most popular festivals that happens in the country and in the world right now. Movie Maker magazine called this one of the top 25 best festivals. They with Henry Stampfel here tonight. With Anne Stampfel, they own the Malvern Theater in Long Island and Nassau County, and they own a theater in Belmore, which I'm familiar with because I did a couple of productions of Rocky Horror there several years ago, and I volunteered for this film festival that we're here to talk about today, which is the Long Island International Film Festival. And this has been around for a really long time, and I'm honored to have these guests. And I want to jump right into it, guys. First, thank you for coming on so early in the morning on this lovely July day. I firstly want to know what and we can start with Debra, what first got you into film, whether it be as a kid or as an adult? What was it that pulled you in?
Well, I mean, you can start when I was 6 years old, and my parents would bring their friends over who would bring their kids over, and I'd sort of kind of direct them in little plays, not even knowing what it was. And then I was a drama major when I began college. And about 33 years ago, I had been working for Nassau County and was not necessarily happy with what I was doing, so I started looking around and said, I found out there were things called film commissions. There was one in the city and one in Suffolk, and I went to the county executive and said, why don't we have one? And he said, well, what is it? And I gave him all kinds of information, and he said, okay, I'll give you 6 months, don't embarrass me. So 33 years ago, we started the Nassau County Film Commission, and I still run it. I've run it through 4 administrations at this point. And then I guess we'll all talk about 23 years ago, Marty Cohen brought Anne and Henry to meet me to run a film festival. And that's sort of how we started the Long Island International Film Expo. But I'll let them tell a little bit about that.
Sure, yeah. I posed the same question to Henry and Anne. What got you guys into film in the first place?
Well, I was just looking for a job when I was 16 and walked into a movie house at the Wanto Cinema. They hired me. I've been doing that ever since. But then when I went to college, I was studying architecture or construction technology, and I just wasn't getting anywhere with that. And somebody recommended I go into communications, and all we did was movies. We just made films. Me and a group of guys in the film room, which was only one aspect of the communications department. We just loved making films, so that's where I started to get a love for the making of films. And then later on, we started owning theaters once Annie and I met at the Oceanside. And, the rest is where we are today. We have the Malvern, the Belmore, and the North Shore Tower Cinema right now. So.
Right, yes, I forgot about that, right. It's amazing that you guys are running all that. How about you, Anne? What got you into film? As a youngster or as you were older?
Always going to the movies.
Going to the movies. Do you remember the first movie you went to go see?
That I have a great memory of was the Phantom Toll Booth with my little sister. I had a babysitter. But as a senior in high school, I only went to school half a day. And the other half a day, I had to go to a job that they sent me to, and the job they happened to send me to was a film booker and buyer. So I learned how to get films into theaters, and I learned what the contracts were all about. And I went straight through that. And then the gas crisis happened. If you recall the gas crisis in the 70s, it went up to, oh my God, 75 cents a gallon. So I had to get a night job, and the Oceanside Theater was down below. I worked upstairs in the offices. So I got a night job to afford gas to drive around, and that's when I met Henry back in 1978. And I was able to drive around because I had gas money, and so I worked, and not with my knowledge of running a theater, him running a theater, him being in the projectionist union, and then my knowledge of how to book a theater. We worked for other people, and then we eventually had the opportunity to run our own, and we figured we knew everything because we, had done it all for other people, but there's nothing like owning. We realized we really knew nothing. We learned it, baptism by fire, so to speak, when we opened our first theater back in 1985.
1985, I was going to ask that. 1985 is a very important year for film. That's like Goonies, Back to the Future. There's a few other, I think that's Platoon. There's some really big movies that came out in 1985. I love knowing that. 1985 was a big year for me. I think I was 7.
Hey!
What, is there anything that you're really excited about showing at the International Film Festival this year? And you may not feel like you should talk about that because you might be too biased, I understand, but I think that people would love to know what you guys are looking forward to.
Well, there's a couple of things. One, first of all, is we will be one of the first film festivals that's actually in the theater. for the last 5 months. So the last thing I had done before we went into quarantine was I had one of my films in a film festival. And then one of the first things we'll be doing, hopefully for everybody, is to be able to show it in the theater. And Anne and Henry will talk more about that. But we have, while we absolutely have foreign films, and we have some great foreign films, we have a whole bunch of local films from all over Long Island. So people who are not, they don't want to fly necessarily, but the filmmakers should be able to come in for the screenings, and everything we're hearing is how excited they are is to finally be able to see their film in a theater. Through no fault of their own, it's just what film festivals have had to do. So we postponed Life for the reason of being able to show it in the theater. So Anne and Henry will have to speak to how that's going to happen.
Yeah, I actually saw Tom Hanks recently talking about he had a war movie that's coming out, and he was really disappointed that it wasn't going to be in the theater because it's something that you're really supposed to see on the big screen, a movie like that. So that is kind of, I'm glad it's still coming out, but that's a little disappointing. But I have a feeling they'll re-release it at some point. But yeah, the same question to you, Henry and Anne. What are you guys excited about at
Well,
the
we have
festival?
more films than ever. We've accepted more films than ever. I think we're up to 193 films, Deb.
This year alone. Wow.
This year alone that are going to be playing in the festival. So that's exciting in itself. A number of foreign films that we're really happy with, and a lot of local films, believe it or not. So we're excited about many of the films coming by. A lot of talented people, always. They're doing so. They're creating such great stuff these days, you know. So it's
How many movies do you think you've shown in this festival over these many years?
Well, we started with 40, if I remember, like 40 or 45, and we showed them twice, and I think it was over a weekend, because we didn't know how this was going to go. There was only us and the Hamptons and Stony Brook at that point. So we didn't know if it would be successful. It was way more successful than we thought. I think the most we have shown, other than this year, I think is 178. And that's still a lot. We were trying to get down to 100. I don't know. We lost our minds this year. I don't know what happened.
Right. Has it always been a week? Has it always gone through a week? Because you have a whole week. You're going from September 30th.
We've had 10 days. We've had 10 days, and we brought it down to 7. But I think this year we're up to 8 days. 7 days, 1 day of the closing party, and I think we're having one virtual day where we're going to show foreign films from all over the world and do it online. But the rest of it should be in the theater.
Okay, I love hearing that. Henry and Anne, as you are two people who own theaters on Long Island and independent theaters, are there things that you've had to do? What have you changed before opening? I believe that theaters are allowed to open next week or something like that. That's my understanding. Maybe I'm wrong. Is there any plan to bring people back into the theater within, like, any at all right now, other than this festival, before this festival?
I mean, look, we ordered all the masks and face shields. We're presently sanitizing the theaters to get them cleaned up, even though they were closed long before the COVID epidemic got out of hand. And we're going to see what the CDC requires that we do. I know they want to suggest changing the filtration of the heating and air conditioning system, so that will do. And then we'll monitor how to be very careful and keep people safe. It's a big theater, so even if we're a third full, that still is 100 people. You've been there, so it will still be a successful theater with just having a third full, and we'll see how it goes. Yeah. So.
Great. I mean, I really do. I know that if people are going to go anywhere, they're going to go to your theater. I know people on Long Island love you guys and love that place, and it was a really honor to talk to you guys today. I wish we had longer. We could talk about film forever. We both know that, and we're going to have that opportunity again very soon. I'm definitely going to come down to the festival this year and say hi to you guys. And again, I'm sorry?
Wear a mask.
Wear a mask.
Yeah,
of course, stay safe and healthy. If you want to check out the festival, go to longislandfestival.com.
LongIslandFilm.com.
Long Island Film, right. Sorry, thank you. LongIslandFilm.com, and check out the theaters. Henry and Anne, thank you for coming on. Debra, this is really awesome. And I look forward to speaking to you guys soon. This is Welcome Back to America, and we'll be right back after this.
Me llaman Dan Pablo y hace más de 20 años me enamoré de una colombiana. Viajé a su país y conocí un estilo de café muy distinto, muy especial. Ahora tostamos cafés excelentes, con alturas y microclimas diferentes, resultado en una taza muy compleja y muy rica, un sabor nuevo en el mundo. Fue un éxito. And I even got to keep the girl.
Hey everybody, welcome back to America. I'm DB Frick. I have two giants of the comedy world with me. The incomparable Joe Dixon is here. Joe's been a comedian for over 20 years. Todd Montesi is over here. He's been a comedian for over 20 years. Combined, the three of us have over almost 100 years of comedy experience. That's kind of crazy. Almost a whole, what do they call 100 years? A century.
Century, that's what they call it.
Yeah, and it just died like Carl Reiner, so.
Right. By the way, did you see that Carl Reiner video where he was reading A Princess Bride to his son? It was the last video he made before he died.
Oh, wow.
And he made this video playing the character that Peter Falk played in the movie, and then Rob Reiner was Fred Savage. And they played out the scene where he's in bed. It looked kind of awkward because Rob Reiner's an old man, but it was still kind of beautiful. But thank you guys for coming on tonight. I have you here because you guys can talk comedy. We could talk it for hours, but we won't tonight. I wanted to get
here because I thought you had us here because we said yes.
Did you? I don't even remember you guys saying yes. I just pressed record. You guys know that, right? Now, you've both been doing comedy for over 20 years. When was the first time you wanted to get on stage, or when was the first time you got on stage? What made you want to do it? What got you to that first time? Whether it be a comedian or as anything. You could have gone on stage as a flautist. But I'm curious when that was. Todd.
Well, I started when I was 17, around like, I think late August, September. It was like, I think my junior year in high school. And basically, I wanted to just do comedy because like, I was watching a lot of stand-up comedy as a kid. I grew up in a really fucked up like household and shit. Like my neighborhood was fucked up. My school was fucked up. And like, I just kind of like.
Your hair was fucked up.
Yes. And Joe, your teeth is fucked up. How about that? What is it? Def Comedy documentary stories? Let me pour my heart out. By the way, Dixon, your mama looks so stupid.
If we can keep the FUs to a minimum, that would be great. If you can.
You invited us?
Todd, if you can't, I understand.
Well, you brought the Pillsbury Dough Negro over here.
Okay. Wow, hey, fight.
All right, so basically 17 years old, I started doing comedy. The first open mic I did was Gladys's, and it was like, I think like 6, 7 o'clock in the afternoon or early evening. And I did that for like every week and stuff. Then I learned about other mics. I learned about New York Comedy Club open mic, like on Mondays. This was like 98. And then, I learned about Orange Bear. I think that's where I met Joe Dixon, right? Orange Bear.
Yeah.
And then
Orange beer.
Wow.
Then I told him about the mics too and stuff. And Joe was young back then. Joe was like in his early 30s only. So fresh out the gate.
It is kind of crazy how much younger you are than Joe and how much younger you are than me, actually.
I'm catching up. Well, actually, we're kind of in the same area. I mean, we're what, like 42, 43?
I'm 43, but I thought you were 35.
I'm 39, yeah.
Oh, okay, so it's over. Yeah, so it's over. How about you?
I have gray hair, and he does. Who's got the gray hair? Oh, man.
It's only the beard. It's only the
gray hair.
I do. If you look close, I have gray hair. I have gray
Joe,
hair.
Joe, you're so black. Joe, you're so black. You're black and your grays look brown.
Beautiful, beautiful. Ooh. No gray, not one gray.
Not one gray. You are also wearing a Hawaiian shirt, though, so I mean, it kind of...
I'm part of the alt-right.
What got you on stage, Joe? And I hope it's not the alt-right.
God, what got me on stage? I thought it was funny. I was mistaken, but I thought I was. And so I my first mic was at a place called the Eagle Tavern over on the it was in Chelsea on 14th Street and 6th. It's no longer, it's been going for a long time, but that was my first place I ever did stand-up at. And I was so nervous. My legs were shaking, and I was terrified. And I killed. It just went really, really well. And I said, wow, this is so great. This is really easy. And so I went back and I bombed. So that's...
Wait, Joe, was this like during your early 20s? Because I think you said you started when you were in 20s, right? Tried to do it, then you stopped?
I had to have been, I'm still in, no.
You could have been 29.
Early 20s because I was taking some classes over at the new school at the time.
Okay.
It's amazing how time just... It's been over 20 years of that. Because that's about when I started stand-up, too. Probably, I actually just started after you, Todd. Probably in like just before 9/11. And then
I think I met you at Gershwin Hotel, maybe?
Yes, I met you at the Gershwin Hotel, and I also met Joe at the Gershwin Hotel. At a show that Jimmy Fallon was running. Yeah, that was a great place. That was a beautiful place. I liked going there because the environment was pretty. But what was going on in those hotel rooms was probably just god-awful.
Well, you know the funny thing, that became the Museum of Sex place right now, though. But the funny thing was, it was like a weird model agency was there or something.
Yes.
So
I had models there. It's wild. It's really weird.
Oh yeah, it was really, really beautiful model types coming out of those elevators all the time.
Walking past these
models, and then yeah, but it was like models, and then it was just like alternative comedy, which was made it even weirder. So
well, I see celebrities come out of there too. I remember seeing like Steven Tyler of Aerosmith coming out with Vincent Pastore, and they were with Steven Tyler's mom. And the comedian I was with, Mark Sacripante, offers to do blow with Steven Tyler in front of his mom, and his mom is like, he doesn't do that anymore. It was a major moment in comedy history.
We get a video of that. Hey, here are some pictures, by the way. Let me get it. This is Todd.
Oh my God,
dude! I really don't remember taking that picture of you, Joe. I think you
is that Godfrey? Is that Godfrey? Is that the comedian Godfrey?
Look at him.
Did you put that off MySpace?
That is the best picture ever. That is the picture that you should use. I look so pissed off there. How did I know you when I was that young? It was that long ago.
Apparently you did know me when you were this young. You have an indentation on your head for some reason. I don't know what that's about.
Yeah, I always do.
Frank, that picture should have gotten you a writing job immediately.
It's the strap that's across my shoulder that really makes it look like, oh, he must be a writer. But no.
You blew your white privilege, Frick. You blew your white privilege.
I really did. I did with some really terrible jokes very, very long ago.
What about your first time on stage? Where did you go? What was your first place?
My first time on stage was a place called Auntie M's, which was a gay bar that I was brought into by a woman who was directing us, a group of us in the Reindeer Monologues. This had to be like 2001. 2000, it had to be like 2000. And we did the production of this show and went to the bar afterwards, and they were having a contest, a comedy contest. And I went up. The woman who put me on stage actually put Kevin James on stage for the first time.
Oh.
So I thought that meant something. But then I realized, wait, the math on that happening again is very near nil-nil. So it actually decreased my chances of success because of that. But yeah, that was my first time doing stand-up, and then I did some Chris DeLuca shows, and then I met you guys and Sheiky's. And where do you guys see comedy going?
It's gone.
Oh, it's done? You think it's done? Because you're still doing stuff. Both of you are still doing things.
No, I'm kidding. I think tradition. Go ahead, Joe. Go ahead, Joe.
Me to go? Live comedy is going to be in trouble for a while, I think. Comedy is going to be fine, but live comedy stand-up is, if that's what you mean, yeah, that's going to be a hole that's going to take a long time to dig out of, I think, because it's going to take time for people to want to sit together, and how many people can have in the space. It's going to be not good.
Would you go to a comedy club right now? Would you go and be an audience member in a comedy club right now?
Right now, no, not a chance.
Not indoors, right?
What about an outdoor show? Would you go to an outdoor show?
I'd go to an outdoor show. I would have gone to that Chappelle show we did.
Right. How about you, Todd?
I think improv's basically done, unless you could do improv 6 feet away from each other, which will be limiting, right? No, but I think stand-up will come back. Like even if this takes like years, though. I mean, because it is like kind of a niche thing anyway. So, and people do want to see like celebrities and stuff. So there's always going to be that like, hey, that guy's famous. Let's all go watch what he has to say because that guy's blessed by God or something. But I guess right now I think comedy is just changing where it's like more multimedia. Like I kind of like anticipated this. I was trying to pitch like a talk show where it was like a multimedia show where not just like audiences in New York or like the country, like all over the world, and now like it seems like with this crash, it's kind of facilitated that mindset where, multimedia, like doing Zooms and stuff. Like, I think people need to be more creative. So basically, if you're like into this, separates the actual comedians and the actual people that just want to be famous and like be on TV and have an easy job. Like creatives, they'll find a way to like perform like comedy in a different outlet and make it work. Like for example, Zoom shows, right? A lot of Zoom shows, people are complaining like, there's no. You got to find a way to make the Zoom shows work. Like I have a Zoom show and I made it work by sort of making it a fun competition where like the audience members are the judges as well. And they interact with like everyone interacts with each other. So it's like a fun show and it's tight. It's like an hour long.
Yeah, no, that's a great concept. And I got to do that the other day and that was a lot of fun. So I could see being able to sell that to an audience. Two people wanting to watch a game. I could see that. I wouldn't be surprised if you could make money on that.
Well, I'm editing it down too. I'm going to edit down these episodes to like as a tight TV show type thing and give people IMDb credit. But like also when they watch the show, like for example, the 4 comics compete against each other and the winner comes back next week to defend their crown. So there's going to be that element of like game show Jeopardy where it's like, oh, let me follow that narrative. You're going to have to come in and bring new jokes. Like, so even if they were there last week watching it, it's a brand new experience. It builds up the comics. It builds up the, so yeah, I can't wait till TNT steals it and, makes it shit.
Yeah, no, someone's definitely going to steal it. I've seen a couple of different versions of game shows, but I like yours especially. You guys want to plug your stuff? Joe, what are you doing? You're working on a podcast. You've got a podcast where you talk about movies?
I have a podcast called Does This Still Work? In which we discuss, me and my podcast partner, discuss old movies and see if they still work. That's the premise. Hilarious. You've been on it. You had fun.
Yes, we talked about a Woody Allen movie.
You defended a rapist. That was good.
A very, very sexist movie that would not really be able to be made today.
No.
And Todd, what about you? Plug yourself.
I have a bunch of stuff. I have my PN and Friends web series, which you guys are going to be in the next episode, which is hilarious. You guys actually been in past episodes.
Yes.
Frick was in Groper Goes MAGA and Dixon. You can check that episode out. YouTube.com/MonteKillavision. Also, you can check out the UG Comedy Show page on Instagram, where we do a nightly talk show every night, 7 days a week, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 Pacific, where we just talk with funny people, interesting personalities for an hour. It's fun. It's hilarious. You could engage with us. And also, I have the UG Comedy Show Zoom House Party Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern. You can check it out streaming live on twitch.tv/UG Comedy Show.
Man, Todd, you hustle. You hustle.
The way you can find our podcast is DTSW Pod. You look for
it one more time, Joe?
DTSW Pod.
All right, yeah, check out Joe's podcast. It's very interesting, very smart.
You're making it entertaining. Don't make it sound like it's an education.
Okay.
It's very pedantic, guys. Very pedantic.
It's a very pragmatic show. Enjoy Joe Dixon's very pragmatic show.
Very pedagogical. A lot of pedagogy. Whatever.
Come on, get it out. Get it out. See, this is why you didn't get in there, Yale.
Exactly. I couldn't say pedagogical without messing up.
That's the kind of word that makes you choke on your phlegm. I want to thank both of you for coming today. It was awesome talking to you. You both love hearing that you're doing great things, and we'll see you soon.